Assalamu alaikum to all the students. Welcome to you all. This is our English literature class and I'm your English teacher Sidra. Today we are having English literature topic which is we have already actually completed in two parts that was splitted, but today we will inshallah take a complete overview of lecture number 19 and lesson number this is 8, which is Emily Leaves Home. Okay, we will take a brief overview to sum up both the lectures which we have done on Monday and Wednesday. So it will be combined like a story type, I'll be telling you, so that it will be in your mind uh, and it will affect long lasting. Okay, so first of all, the first chapter was David says goodbye to Steerforth when he was going to meet Yarmouth to visit and to meet his old nurse Peggotty. Before going to Yarmouth, when David discussed this planning to Steerforth invited him that before going to Yarmouth, you should come at my home and meet with me and my mother and stay for a few days, so that we will, if something happen in future, that if we will be meeting in the future or not, so you should come to me first, then you may go to the Yarmouth. David took a short leave from Mr. Spenlow's office because he was not being paid over there. He was doing without pay the job in Spenlow and Jorkins. So it was not a difficult task for David to take a short leave from that office. Then Rosa Dartle asked about Steerforth's suspicious manners when he went to the house of Steerforth, and Rosa Dartle was over there and Mrs. Steerforth was over there, and they both friends were over there. They four all were going for a walk. Then when Mrs. Steerforth and Steerforth passed away then at that time, Rosa Dartle pulled David's hand towards her own self and asked in a in a very low voice that what happened to Steerforth, why he is being so doubtful. Suspicious means doubtful, that there is something happening in his mind which he's not telling to everybody. So what is happening with that? You are his school friend and very old friend, you must know about that. तुम्हें ज़रूर पता होगा ये बात, why he is looking change, उसके manners में कुछ change आ रहा है, उसकी habits में, उसके routines में कुछ change आ रहा है. Why is that so? Mm. But David responds that I don't know anything if he's getting changed. Rosa gets angry on that. Rosa also get angry on Steerforth's behavior as he was showing his power on Rosa Dartle and showing his you may say his अपनी friendship उस पर थोपने की कोशिश कर रहा है, and that's why Rosa got angry. At that time, David and Steph were separated. Then, at the next day in the morning, when David was about to leave, he went in the room of not inside the room, but he was outside the room at the door. He was standing and looking at Steph that he is sleeping. He was asleep actually. Okay, वो सोया हुआ था, but the habit of the posture of Steerforth was same as he has got in the childhood. So uh, Steerforth was sleeping at that time. Then they both separated with each other. David went to Yarmouth to meet Mr. Peggotty and his old nurse there. Mr. Peggotty told him that mm why he lit up a candle by the window as he was waiting for Emily. She was outside with him and she hasn't come at that time. वो उस वक्त तक पहुंची नहीं थी घर. That's why there's a custom at Yarmouth that Mr. Peggotty or somebody else who has been waiting for his own child, so they lit up a candle by the window until he or she comes. जब तक वो बच्चा आ नहीं जाता, the parents lit up the candle by the window so that the outsider who is coming late or whoever is the child, whoever is the boy or girl, they would know that somebody is there at home and waiting for them. Then Ham come back alone and worried about the situation, that what has he had to disclose जो उसको बताना था. Now he is getting so much worried because Ham has come but Emily was not with him. Then Ham tells the news to at home that David is there, Mr. Peggotty is over there. Then Ham tells about Emily that she has gone. She is no more with Ham. Then Emily's letter was over there for Ham that when David started reading the letter, it was about Ham's marriage, that you deserve a better girl than me. Emily has written to Ham that you deserve a better girl as compared to me, and I will not come back until he marries me. जिसके साथ भी वो गई है, जब तक वो उससे शादी नहीं कर लेगा, she will not come back at home. Then you should marry to another girl who will take care, and who will take care my uncle, who is Mr. Peggotty. So she wrote that letter to Ham, and then David and Mr. Stafford decided to go for the search of Emily. Mr. Peggotty and David left in search of Emily, and they first went to London to meet Mrs. Stafford. Mr. Peggotty visits Mrs. Stafford at London. First, they start the searching of Emily from the same house of Stafford. David and Mr. Peggotty decided to meet Stafford over there. Mrs. Stafford got angry as Mr. Peggotty handed over Emily's letter to her. When she read the letter written by Emily, so she got very much angry, and she said that my son to please my son is my first priority of life, but I think he will not get married with Emily. Mr. Peggotty decided to find Emily by his own, as Mrs. Stafford is not cooperating with him, and she got angry instead. So Mr. Peggotty decided to find Emily by his own, as nobody is with him and nobody knows where is she. तो उन्होंने सोचा कि why not I should take a step, go from here, and search my Emily by my own. So this was the whole lesson, as I have summed up, and nothing more is about here, because I have already uh, gave you an overview of two chapters before. Acha, these are some presentation questions. Okay, now give me the reply of these questions so that I would know that you are all getting the lesson properly. I will assign some questions to the students. Okay, the lecture is not ended. Okay, अभी lecture हमारा ख़त्म नहीं हुआ है. I will continue that. Something more important with that, and beside that I have for you. So first of all, we should complete this lecture, this lesson. अच्छा आमना, you will respond me for question number 1. Okay, आप मुझे question number 1 का answer. I am अच्छा, can you respond me in the mic if you unmute it? Why was Rosa angry? Yes, Amna.
Miss Rosa get angry because Miss
Hmm.
Peggotty, when he read the letter from Emily, he she got angry.
No, no, no. That was Mrs. Steerforth. वो तो Steerforth की mother थी. I'm talking about Rosa Dartle, who was just a friend of Steerforth. Rosa Dartle was the a companion of Mrs. Steerforth. वो क्यों angry हो गई थी? Because Steerforth was showing his power on herself. We have read yesterday this thing, that Rosa got angry because Steerforth was showing his power to Rosa Dartle, that sit with me, sing a song with me, you will read the lesson, then you will get to know. आप शायद confuse हो गई हैं with Rosa and Mrs. Steerforth में. ठीक है. अच्छा, Anam Zafar, will you respond me for question number 2? Anam Zafar, respond me for question number 2. Why did Mr. Peggotty light a candle by the window? Anam Zafar, are you there? I asked you to unmute, but you are. Yes, anybody else? Can you people can raise the hand if you know the answer? Just raise your hand for question number 2. Okay, Amna, it's okay. No problem. Leave it. Yes, Anam Zafar, I'm asking to you, can you respond me? Okay, she is not responding. Anybody else? Yes, Sharoz, you may respond me. I am, yes. Now you can give me the answer.
Assalamu alaikum, miss.
Walaikum assalam.
Miss, Mr. Bogodi lit a candle by the
Yes.
window so that Emily could see the home by with the help of the light of candle.
No, 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 no. That was not the right answer. Mr. Peggotty lit up the candle so that Emily, when she will be coming to the house, she will get to know that somebody inside the house is waiting for her. घर के अंदर कैंडल लिट अप करने से बाहर उसको रास्ता कैसे नजर आएगा? देयर इज नो पॉइंट ऑफ इट. ये तो हमने पढ़ा ही नहीं इसमें. व्हाट इज द पॉइंट दैट मिस्टर पिगॉटी लिट अप अ कैंडल सो दैट व्हेन एमिली विल बी कमिंग एट होम, सो शी शुड नो दैट मिस्टर पिगॉटी देयर इज समवन हु लव्ड हर वेरी मच एंड ही इज वेटिंग फॉर हर. ठीक है, दैट इज द राइट आंसर. अच्छा, these are the same questions which we have already done. Okay, why was David guilty? Because David thought that I introduced Steerforth, so he has kidnapped, you may say. Okay, तो इस वजह से he has kidnapped Emily, so David is guilty because Steerforth is the best friend of David and he introduced Steerforth in this family, and now he has done a mistake, so David was guilty. Why was Ham worried? Because he didn't know how should I tell Mr. Peggotty the news that Emily has gone. And how did Mrs. Steerforth reacted? Who will give me the response of this question? Just raise your hand. Jai Kumar, are you there? Yesterday you were not here when I was asking the question from your side. You didn't give me the answer. Jai Kumar, can you give me the answer of question number 6? How did Mrs. Steerforth react? He is again not here. Yes, anybody else can raise the hand if you know the answer. Shadows, you have already given. Nobody is raising the hand. Acha, Amna, you can give me the answer of that question. Question number 6. Yes, Amna.
Mrs. Strafford, first she was really calm, but when Mr. Picardy,
Showed the letter
Mr. Picotti showed the letter, then she got angry.
that she got angry. Yes. After
First, she
looking that.
was really calm.
Yes. Okay, good.
Letter. She was.
Okay. So now this is all about the lesson we have done. Now I am going to tell you something about tomorrow, which is the very important day for us. Tomorrow is 25th December. This is the historical day, the most historical day in the history of Pakistan, that the pioneer of Pakistan, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, it is a birthday of him, and he is our founder. He is the founder of Pakistan as well as the father of the nation. Okay, we also call him Baba Qaum. Okay, in Urdu. So he's the father of our nation also. I just want to discuss some points or some facts about Quaid-e-Azam, and father of the nation, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah's achievement as the founder of Pakistan dominates everything else he did in his long and illustrious public life, spanning some about 42 years. Okay, his achievement that he is the founder of Pakistan dominates everything else he has already done in the history of Pakistan. Yet, by any standard, his life was an eventful one. His personality multidimensional, and his achievements in other fields were many, if not equally than that. Okay, if it is not equally great, but he was having a very good personality. He had got a multidimensional traits in his personality, and his achievements on in the other fields other than that were many. He was a successful man, as he has once told that failure is a word unknown to me. He doesn't know that this is a word, this is a kind of word by which people discourage themselves, they underestimate their own selves. So we should eliminate this word from our lives so that we will always see the way of success. Indeed, several were the just a second. Yes, several were the roles he had played with distinction. At one time or another, he was one of the greatest legal luminaries. Luminaries means celebrity. Okay, he was the greatest legal celebrity in India, which has India had produced during the first half of the century. An ambassador of Hindu-Muslim unity, a great constitutionalist, a distinguished parliamentarian, a top quality politician, and indefatigable freedom fighter. Indefatigable freedom fighter means untiring, the person who doesn't need to take rest in the fighting of freedom. A dynamic Muslim leader, a political strategic, and above all one of the great nations builders of modern time. In the starting, his date of birth is disputed. Most of the historical texts point to December 25th, 1876 as the date on which Muhammad Ali Jinnah was born. However, some historians claim that Jinnah's original date of birth was not 25 but October 20th, 1875, which the Qaid later changed to December 25th. Muhammad Ali Jinnah Bhai was his birth name. Before he was Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the Qaid was known as Muhammad Ali Jinnah Bhai. He, however, dropped the word Bhai from his name in 1894. He also changed his spelling when he went to England for higher studies. The founder of Pakistan was an excellent lawyer with a charismatic personality. Jinnah, at one point in time, seriously considered quitting barristership for acting, and he even embarked on a stage career with a Shakespearean company in London, but that was for a very short time. He started acting and leaving barristership, but then he again changed. His first marriage was only about few weeks. His Jinnah's first wife, Amy Bhai Jinnah, was from his ancestral village of Peneli. She was 2 years younger than him. Jinnah did not want to marry Amibai but bowed down to his mother's wishes because Mithi Bai Jinnah feared that, who is the mother of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, she feared that her son would marry an English woman because he was living in London for the higher studies. Amibai died while Jinnah was in England for higher studies. Muhammad Ali Jinnah in 1896 became the youngest Indian to pass law examination in England. At a remarkable age of 20, Jinnah was the only Muslim barrister in the city of Bombay. He would later go on to become of the most successful lawyers of his time, and the rest is history. Jinnah was a classy gentleman and he never wore the same tie twice, means he has got a very vast collection of ties. Okay, even on his deathbed he insisted to be formally dressed, saying, I will not travel in my pajamas. Pajamas are the night suit, you may say, when you go to sleep or when you are at home in common dresses. So this is called the night suit also. So he was on the deathbed also, he insisted to the people who are careful for him, he would like to be formal dressed, and he was saying that I will not travel in the same dress what I am having right now. So he had got a very vast collection of ties and he never used his one tie twice. Ankara, the capital of Turkey, has a street named after him. Sina Kadesi is one of the longest streets of Ankara. Jina is spelled Sina in the Turkish language. It is the street in Turkey, and he has it is the street over here. When I make it bigger, you can see here that Muhammad Ali Sina is written over here. The name of Muhammad Ali Jinnah is written at the street. It is the, you may say, it is the longest street in Ankara in Turkey, and they have his name was written over here with the picture here also. Okay, this is the recent picture, not the old one. Then yes, this is about Jinnah cap. Then in different portraits, Jinnah is often seen sporting a sherwani and a Karabuli cap, now known as Jinnah cap. By using it continuously in his remarkable achievement life, he used to wear this cap again and again, so its cap name has changed to Jinnah cap. He was mostly looked in sherwani and this special type of cap. This particular outfit wore by Jinnah in 1937 during a session of All India Muslim League in Lucknow was meant to signify his commitment to Allama Muhammad Iqbal's dream of a separate nation for Muslims of British India. They both are very famous and popular leaders in the life of him in the Muslims of India, that they both decided that there should be a separate homeland for Muslims where Muslims can offer pray and they do their worship of Allah by their own choice. A Muslim is not born to give up. If he is forced to be enslaved, he will become Babar. Means if we insist a Muslim to be enslaved, उसको अगर हम कैद में रखने की कोशिश करेंगे तो he will become Babar, who is the very famous, who is the greatest leader of all the Muslims. He will emerge as Sultan Tipu. He can happily embrace martyrdom but will never accept slavery. That Muslims will not accept slavery at any cost. They will prefer to die, they will prefer to be martyred, but they will never accept slavery in their lives. One of the most prolific and controversial writers of British India, Saadat Hasan Manto, wrote in his book Jinnah Sahib. His book name was Jinnah Sahib. He wrote in that as in billiards, he would examine the situations from every angle and only move when he was sure he would get it right the first time. In his every move as a billiard, uh, just like this game, he used to examine situation from every angle. Maybe you call it snooker. Okay, sometimes nowadays the game is called like this, but it is actually the name is billiards, and he would examine the situation in the whole history of Pakistan, in his whole life, whether it is political or legal, or whether it is anything for the Muslims to do. But he examined all the situations from every angle and move when he was sure he would get it right the first time. When he gets become when he becomes sure that it will be right at the first time, then he used to move over there. Jinnah was one of the most expensive and most sought after lawyers of his time. He was he was the most expensive and famous lawyer at that time, earning around rupees 1500 per case at that time. Before, you may say 70 or 80 years before, we are talking about, no, not before 70 80, but more than these. Okay, 85 to 90 years before we are talking about. In the previous century, he used to take 1500 per case when he was a lawyer. The founder of Pakistan, how however, fixed his salary at rupees 1 per month as the Governor General of Pakistan when the Pakistan came into being. And when he was selected as the Governor General, first Governor General of the Pakistan, he decided his own salary as rupees 1 per month. The reason being, he didn't want to indebt the nascent state with financial burden. He didn't want to be in he didn't want to be a person who has got a big liability, a big debtful person in the and he did not want to be himself in the financial burden from the same country which is taken from the Hindus after a long sacrifice, after so much sacrificing and after a long time. So he wanted himself to be the most you may say the most the lesser the salary will be less of him. And then he decided his salary at rupees 1 per month. He used to take his salary per month, which is rupees 1, as a Governor General of Pakistan. Once he said, there is no power on earth that can undo Pakistan. It was said by Qaid Azam that nothing is here on this earth. इस दुनिया में ऐसी कोई ताकत नहीं which can undo Pakistan, which can stop us by taking Pakistan from the Hindus. That कोई ऐसी ताकत नहीं जो हमें पाकिस्तान को बनाने और उसको हासिल करने से रोक सके. So that is all about Qaid Azam. These are some untold facts, you may say, which maybe you didn't know, and now your knowledge has increased about him. As we know that he is the most famous, and he is the most greatest achiever of Pakistan who gave us the country. So we have to increase our knowledge about him and about our other leaders. Now, at the end, I just want you all to be with me and um, to listen what I am going to tell you about Qaid Azam, that how he has given us some messages. Although we are having so many messages of Qaid Azam and Allama Iqbal, but today I am going to show you a song here which is very much you can say it is a command from Qaid Azam to you all, that he is going to tell you something very important which will be very helpful for you in the future. Okay, just be with me, and this is the end of the lecture, and um, goodbye from my side. After listening this song, you can leave the meeting. Okay, thank you so much, all of you. I will play here a video from you all, for you all. लाए हैं तूफान से कश्ती निकाल के, इस मुल्क को रखना मेरे बच्चों संभाल के. देखो कहीं उजड़े ना हमारा ये बगीचा, इसको लहू से अपने शहीदों ने है सींचा. इसको बचाना जान मुसीबत में डाल के, इस मुल्क को रखना मेरे बच्चों संभाल